Hello and welcome to another In a Nutshell video. This video is looking at topic 3D in the Christianity component of the Religious Studies A-Level from Eduqas. Topic 3D looks at the challenge of secularization. In this video, we are going to be looking at the value of and the objections towards Christian faith schools in the UK. Before we begin, make sure you press the subscribe button and the bell button so you don't miss the latest videos. In the UK, a faith school is a school that is affiliated with a religious tradition. In England, they are also known as schools with a religious character. In some regions of the UK, faith schools account for over 30% of all schools. Now, these schools do receive some of their funding from religious organisations, and a certain number of the governors are appointed by the school to represent the school's religious ethos. Often, it is the school governors who are responsible for admissions and the appointment of staff, rather than a local authority. This means that preference can be given to hire those who follow the school's religion. Some Christian schools might prioritise admission for students who follow the school's faith. They may ask for a baptism certificate or a letter from a religious leader, as this can strengthen a student's application to join the school. As a result, some families attend church simply to gain access to a faith school, to the detriment of students who might live near to the school but do not follow that religion. However, it is important to note that there are many faith schools in the UK that have now removed the faith criteria from their admissions policy. Faith schools must follow the national curriculum. However, religious studies can focus on the school's religious tradition. Most faith schools do also teach about other religions. Ofsted inspect faith schools just like any other school in the country. Faith schools have other advantages, including parents who wish their child to have a religious grounding in their education can have this need met in faith schools. Faith schools also tend to be among the best performing schools in the country. They can add an element of diversity in the education landscape, and the values of these schools, including tolerance, inclusivity, love, and justice, I'm sure most people would say benefit society. However, there are some, most notably the British Humanist Association, who actively campaign against faith schools. They petition the government to stop new faith schools being created, and they want existing faith schools to be more inclusive. They believe that faith schools exclude certain groups of people, and therefore is promoting segregation. They argue that public money should not be funding faith schools. The BHA also object to faith schools as Ofsted do not specifically inspect religious studies. However, it is important to counter this with the fact that a separate inspection does take place in Catholic and Church of England schools, which includes the inspection of RS lessons. Humanists also claim that RS instructs students in doctrine and the practice of a particular religion, rather than being objective. However, in many schools, this is not necessarily the case. Humanists also claim that RS does not cover other religions and does not give a fair account of non-religious worldviews. They might also claim that topics such as abortion and euthanasia are taught from an explicitly religious perspective, leading to bias. However, it is important to note that teachers should not be using the classroom to give their own personal opinions, and this should mean that teaching of these topics should be balanced. Humanists also believe that PSE and relationships education might be taught in a way that is discriminatory. And there are some faith schools that have taught creationism and intelligent design as scientific theories. However, when parents are asked why they have chosen to send their child to a faith school, the faith element is very little to do with the main motivation. Many parents consider academic standards, location, and discipline as more important features. Thanks for watching, and make sure you like and subscribe down below.